Tonight on Podcast Them Down, Captain Kirk executes a police action against unknown aliens, and there's no time for questioning.
Hail, Metal Nation! It is I, Tim, and you're listening to Podcast Them Down, Star Trek, the original series, Rewatch. And that was Doug, that you heard at the top of the show, and of course Matt, because, again, this is the Star Trek we rewatch, and it's always the three of us. And we're going to talk about the Season 1, Episode 18, Arena. And that's all I got. So, you got the spreadsheet up? We've...
Oh, fuck! I forgot all about the damn spreadsheet.
I know. It's been... So,
oh my God.
Even though the last episode aired only weeks ago, it's been...
Days ago.
It's been like months since we've recorded one. So, you would be forgiven for your lack of preparedness and out of practiceness. But
that's
not here.
How I would.
Not here.
I wouldn't dub me that though.
Not.
All right, I got it.
All right, you got it.
I got it.
Okay, and I, as usual, for those joining us for the first time, which is I'm sure nobody, because we have a loyal fan base and we don't need to continuously grow, except the Patreon members do. Doug and Matt have watched the episode. I have not. I'm going to watch it while we are recording, so I get the freshest reaction and the most accurate reaction possible. And okay, you're supposed to say something.
Yep,
so,
that's true.
Hit play, Tim.
All right, and 3, 2, 1. All right. Oh, there's a planet. All right, go ahead.
Okay, so we open with the crew in a jovial mood in the transporter room.
They do look jovial.
They're beaming down to the planet of STTOS 3.
Spock's putting on a purse.
Commodore Travers, who is very insistent that Kirk bring his best tactical people. We learned that McCoy is a essentialist, and he seems to ask for the tactical people rather late, but they already seem to be in the transporter room, so it all works out. Then we cut to a planet and see a destroyed base that looks kind of like a Viking fort. Then cut to credits.
Yeah, it does. Yeah, it doesn't look at all like a space thing. Frankly.
Well, what it actually was, that going to the whole history of Hollywood, it's left over from a Viking movie from the 50s.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh,
so it's the kind of thing you can't do anymore because that's not just sitting around.
That's great.
It's like,
it's
we
a
got
budget-saving measure.
Thing.
Yeah, They just put those circle rocks and the space signs up.
I like when they transport down, they all go they're like ready for action.
Yeah, I mean this episode really jumps right into it. So
sure did. Also, I brought this up before, but I'm watching the remastered ones. The high def ones. Which didn't you and I? No, that was Next Generation. We went and saw that in the theater. They had a showing of some of the. And, I'm watching. So anyway, I'm watching this, and it's funny because with the high def, you can see how flimsy the whole set was. You can see everyone's makeup very clearly. Yeah, it's it adds a new dimension to the whole thing.
Well, you'll enjoy season 3 where they lose their cinematographer, and then the new cinematographer isn't very good at the focus.
Oh, I'm liking this.
Oh.
All right, so is it time to discuss?
Oh, yeah. Decision chamber.
Is. Decision chamber.
All right, we're in. All right, go.
So, what'd you think about that quick little teaser thing?
Nothing happened, and wasn't metal. So I'm gonna give 3 and 3. Like nothing. I'm not excited to watch the rest of the episode, so there's a 3 for quality. And the only metal thing that happened was when they all struck a pose, like the Immortals Call of the Winter Moon music video.
Well, I mean, maybe because you're not listening with sound. I mean, it's pretty intense.
Didn't look intense.
I mean, just the whole
foreshadowing. Yeah, like why does he want the tactical people?
Yeah.
Is McCoy gonna have a great meal?
Yeah, it's
and then there's a certain arrogant self-assuredness to Kirk, who reports that the planet's been destroyed when he's been there 5 seconds.
And had literally at most could see 2 meters or 2 kilometers, like in either direction. But that's all you need to assess.
Someone's gonna land in like Newark, New Jersey. Some alien. Oh, the planet's destroyed.
Well, yeah. I mean, what if they beam down in the middle of the Sahara Desert? They're like, well, this shit's fucking toast.
Hey, I hope you don't mind. I brought a very quiet snack into the decision chamber.
The sacred chamber.
No, this is supposed to be a clean room. Hey, what were your scores again?
3 and 3.
With your mouth. 3 and 3.
I was watching Independence Day. This has nothing to do with anything, but I was watching Independence Day on Independence Day, and the president in that movie goes to Area 51, and they go down to where they have the aliens, and they go see Brent Spiner, who's the scientist, which I had
gay scientist. We find out later.
Oh, is they in the 2016 version of that?
Yeah.
Oh, wow. Progress.
So they're like, well, sir, it's a clean room. You can't go in there. He goes, open it up. And I'm like, and as a person who works in a facility with clean rooms, you can't just do that because you have invalidated everyone's research. Thanks, asshole.
Maybe you can't do that.
It would take you 5 minutes to just put on one of the suits.
You're not the president. And when you're the president, you can go wherever you want and do whatever you want. And no laws apply to you.
Yeah, but I mean, like, what if you're making microchips? So you got to throw everything out because they're all fucked now. Thanks.
Well, then don't invite the fucking president over because he can just walk in, and if he wants to be eating chips, he can eat chips.
What if you're making cereal? That's not quite a clean room, but you still got to wear your hairnet.
Okay, I guess.
Anyway. I forget how clean. Oh yeah, because we're in the deliberation chamber and it's a clean.
Yeah, we're in the chamber.
Well, it was a clean room.
It's always been a clean room.
Not anymore.
Even though I disagree with your reasons, I agree with your scores. I'm also going to give it 3 and 3. There's some suspense here, but it's really short. And a little. I like the juxtaposition of the glibness with the grimness, but it's a little overdone for my taste.
Yeah, but that maximalism is pretty metal.
I mean, it's a 3. It's not a 0.
I'm going to go, it is too short, but you get the character moment, the glibness, sensualism, all that in like 25 seconds. The foreshadowing. So I'll go 5 and 5.
All right.
I'm going to adjust my score to 3.33 because its shortness did help its quality. That was a quality adjustment, not a metal adjustment.
Oh, okay. Just a quality adjustment. Well, since I have pressed link in my score to your score, I'm also going to adjust that to 3.33. Only quality,
works
not
for me. Works for me. All right.
Yep.
Are we ready?
Yep.
Yes.
Make sure you don't leave your chips in here.
Huh? All right. Act 1 already started.
Fuck. Okay. Well,
they're still there.
They're still there. It turns out that the big destroyed colony actually was destroyed. I think
they all scampered. That was definitely a scamper.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I do enjoy how they initially all take cover in exactly the same place, all 10 of them. Future tactics. I mean, not me to question it.
You don't know how disruptors work, Doug. That might be the best way to save yourself.
Oh, he called the doctor Bones.
Okay, so they discover a human survivor in the ruin. He's Lieutenant Harold. Spock notes that there's other life forms nearby, but no other survivors of the colony. And importantly, the tricorder reads them as cold-blooded creatures, definitely not human. So they're
this might have been in the intro that so they're this was an Earth colony. Is that why it looks like California?
Viking, California, yeah.
Right. Okay. Not warm-blooded, living creatures, but not human.
Mm-hmm.
That's a song right there.
Living creatures,
verse.
but not human. Yeah.
Azimuth 93 degrees.
All right. What is an azimuth, Tim?
That's
what is? Yeah, this is important.
It's a compass heading. So 0
explain.
is north or forward, depending on if you're doing. Yeah, so it's just a relative turn. So 93 degrees would be east, and then 3 more degrees.
Okay.
And it's usually from where you're looking, some reference. Whether it's north.
All right. Does that make sense in this context?
Yeah, because something was coming from 93 degrees. You know, or 3 o'clock for our...
Oh, okay. So it's 93 degrees from azimuth, I guess?
From 0.
Is what they're saying? From 0?
And usually 0 is due north.
They brought the tacticians. Of course they talk this way.
Well, yeah, that's the tactical team. So they start getting shelled with what appear to be World War II style mortars, because apparently photon grenades or whatever they're using make the same sound and look, as we'll see, look nearly identical to mortars. Meanwhile, the Enterprise, we learn, is also under attack by an unknown spaceship. And this creates some tension because they can't beam up the landing party because they're under attack and have to have the shields up. So we get to get into the action here.
They can beam up the landing party, and it's an interesting thing because, as usual, this crew is incredibly lucky to have Captain Kirk, who is able to successfully engage in battle as a commander in 2 fronts at once. And he issues very non-specific commands to Sulu that seem to work. And Sulu really doesn't... We can lower the shields, sir. No, don't lower the shields.
Yeah.
Keep my ship safe.
I'm not sure why he's suggesting that. It's like, well, we're under direct attack, but we could lower the shields.
Spock's like, I forget if it's in here, but that Sulu knows what he's doing. And
he does say
he doesn't
that.
seem to in this episode.
He says Sulu is an experienced combat officer, and Kirk says, "It's my ship, Mr. Spock. I should be there. We can't even get at them." All right, so there's like crossfire, there's mortars. The mortar's apparently a disruptor. The Enterprise is... I still don't understand why Kirk is directing the Enterprise's combat actions from the planet, but he's telling them what to do without being able to see anything. So phasers don't work against their shields. Use photon torpedoes. Kirk says, and then Sulu agrees, or just follows the order. Photon torpedoes are apparently in banks. Who knew? There's like communications from... It's just a big, chaotic sort of battle. And it ends up with the Enterprise can't engage successfully with the unidentified ship, and they leave. They have to escape.
I like how Kirk is dodging mortars. And
Oh yeah.
his method is to zigzag, and then when the mortar blows up, jump and flail, and then
because
then he'll like crawl a little bit to a nearby rock, and then continue his phone call with Sulu. But it's not a good place to hide from mortars.
well, I mean, these are disruptors. These aren't like your kinetic mortars.
Shut up.
So I'm sure that jumping up when they hit the ground prevents the molecular destabilization or something. I mean, it would be stupid to do that with a incendiary mortar, but not for a disruptor.
Spock has his little tricorder, I guess, but it looks like it has a tiny little TV on it, and the rest glued to like a Polaroid camera.
Oh yeah, that's the view screen of the tricorder.
It's so tiny.
We'll see it in more detail.
It's like a tiny CRT. Wait, where did Kirk get that mortar from?
Oh yeah, then there's that mortar.
And Kirk's willing to risk like 3 or 4 lives on the chance that the arsenal is still there. And he's like, we don't have time to deliberate. To the arsenal.
And then I also know that you just called it a mortar. That's very clearly a photon grenade, and certainly not just a regular old mortar they had from a World War II movie.
How do you aim this mortar?
Well, they're using azimuth and stuff.
Can they see who's trying to bomb them? Because he just kind of pointed it in a direction.
They're over in the distance. I mean,
they keep showing the mountain, and there's no one over there.
I mean, you just aim the photon grenade at the mountain, and you'll clearly hit them. It's not like mountains
you mean this
are like
mortar?
kilometers.
Actually, it looks like a giant paintball he's putting billiard balls in this thing.
Yep. Well, yep.
I believe number 2. The number 2 is the blue one. It's a light blue one. So he's got like an egg carton full of number 2 billiard balls.
But this is how they do it. There's more talk about azimuth as they're aiming the thing, the photon grenade launcher. Spock is, as always, surprised by Kirk's brilliant tactics.
It's one and done.
Just one photon torpedo ended their war, Doug.
Yeah, and then we get so they beam back up, and there's some. I mean, just the level of competence and deserved self-assurance Kirk shows throughout this episode is astounding, and we'll see example after example. But he makes what, from our perspective, might be kind of odd decisions, like sending the entire medical staff of the Enterprise down in the same sentence as leave orbit and chase the aliens.
Well, I mean, there's a reason why he's the greatest Starfleet officer ever. And it's decisions like these that lead that conclusion unquestioned.
Yeah, and then so we meet the survivor who tells us everything we already know. I guess if you went to the bathroom or something.
I wondered if it was like, TBS. Oh, go ahead.
No.
You know how TBS used to start shows at like 6:05? So maybe this is like to catch up people who were joining at like 6:15.
This guy is laying in a space bed in sick bay, and I noticed
biobed.
It's elevated. I mean, my hand here is exaggerated at the angle. But what if you have a leg injury? Aren't you supposed to raise your leg?
Well, I mean, I think if you have a leg injury, you use those things in the wall to push back and forth.
Because they'll heal it immediately, and then there's about 90 seconds of rehab, and you're good.
We need to get all the fluid away from the brain.
Well, there's nothing nothing the brain hates more than blood. So,
so the survivor, they were tricked to coming ashore. The survivor reconfirms Kirk's previous statement of fact, and then he kind of freaks out and keeps asking why. And Kirk he's so brave and resolute here. He knows that this is an invasion, and that the invaders have to be punished in order to prevent the invasion.
Well, I mean, they butchered a Federation outpost, and that has to be answered. You can't let that sort of thing just happen.
Yeah, and it's only going to be an invasion.
Exactly.
And Spock is, this is like the Galileo 7 Part 2. He's so waffly throughout this. And he's right in the end, but Kirk gets to the same place. What by simply doing the most direct thing always.
Yeah.
And no self-doubt. Kirk tells Spock, this is the policy discussion, isn't it? A little later.
That's a little later. This is just Kirk knows, Spock is saying, what's the reason that they try to get the Enterprise to come? And Kirk is just like, there is a reason to destroy the Enterprise, to invade the Federation. Apparently the Enterprise is the only thing standing between the Federation and just constant domination from all these other species. And again, Spock is just like, where's your proof? What do you know? And he's like, I don't need proof. I've seen it down on STTOS 3, even though Spock was there. There's just very standoffish, and Kirk, in his, moral clarity, decides the only thing they can do is go after the enemy ship. And that's how this act ends, with a very decisive Captain Kirk ordering everyone to battle stations. This is no drill.
And again, just like the enemy, balance of terror, this isn't about revenge. This is about punishment.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. There's been an infraction. That's very important, Doug. This isn't personal for Kirk. This isn't like a Captain Ahab sort of vengeance mission. This is very clear. If you give me a bloody nose, I need to give you a bloody nose. And that's how the moral order of the galaxy is maintained.
And this is why he gets I don't think he's paid, but whatever he gets, because he gets these limited inputs, immediately connects the dots on invasion, and with incredible self-assurance and clarity, makes the correct decision.
Instantly.
All right, shall we go?
The chamber.
Yep.
All right. Ooh, nice.
Oh, God damn it.
All right. I'm gonna go 6.5 and 6.5 for both.
Okay.
There were explosions. Between the bounds of 3 and 7, I don't need to explain myself, but I will. Explosions. He acted like one of those people in line at Starbucks who won't get off their phone while stuff's going on around them, and they're phasers, and he's blindly and uninformedly telling the Enterprise what military action to take, with no input. That's pretty metal. Actually, I'm going to bump him up to the metal score is probably going to have to be an 8, actually, but quality will remain at 6.5.
I agree with
dip
you
in this chamber.
Oh my God, not dip. It'll get in all the instruments.
All right, you're
right about the metal score.
Don't let me forget this when we leave.
Oh, okay, yeah, please don't forget it.
Cleaning bills in these chambers. Good thing we're getting that Patreon money now.
Yeah.
Ooh, there was one on the floor.
Oh, God damn it. Okay, you're right about the metal score. It's an 8. Kirk is decisive. Kirk doesn't let people do their fucking jobs. He has to micromanage them even while under attack. Like, he's in mortal danger, but he doesn't trust people to do the thing they were trained to do. If that's not metal, I don't know what is. That's an 8. quality is a 7. I do, the only thing I wish, in hindsight, I wish there had been footage of the actual battle and maybe a more dynamic explosion or something. I realize that we're sort of hamstrung by the technology and budget of the time. But we're told of danger a lot more than we are demonstrated.
Yeah, you never see the enemy, but maybe that's a Lovecraft thing. Hey, I brought a Sprite. Do you want one?
No, God, fuck! That's a can. It's not even a closed top. I mean, I don't mind that we don't see the enemy. It's actually important for the plot that we don't see the enemy. But I wish the explosions were a little more dynamic. All we really get is just like the sound.
Yeah.
Like that's all we get. Like there's not even like some decent like pyrotechnics. Maybe some like dirt devils or something.
And I think this is the one and only appearance of the photon grenade.
I think it is.
Except in the B cannon, it's probably used.
I think they,
which we will discuss for the
for the patron.
Yeah, memory beta.
Starting out with Dreadnought. Hope to see you there.
Mm-hmm. I think, Doug, that there is mention of a photon grenade in one like third season Next Generation episode. I forget if it's the Tasha Yar's sister one or when Dr. Crusher falls in love with a terrorist. But either way, we'll find out in about 8 years.
Yeah, I'm going to go 8 and 8.
Oh, all right.
Yeah, I mean, they definitely kind of go to the boundary limit of what they could get away with. It was in filming this scene that both William Shatner and Leonard Nimoy got permanent hearing damage because of all the explosions. So
well, I mean,
they're doing these pretty big battles with like less than a day on the set, I'm sure.
I mean, I've had to bump my metal score up to an 8.5 to risk the well-being of actors for such a poor on-screen presentation. That's also pretty damn metal.
I'm going to 0.1 up you and change mine to 8.6.
Holy shit. I'm going to 0.1 up you and change mine to 8.7.
I'm going to lower mine to 8.5.
Damn, fuck. My strategy failed. I'm like the Gorn.
And you know what?
Whoever attacked the outpost.
I'm also going to change my Minnesota Wild metalness score.
Oh shit, I gotta find that spreadsheet.
To whatever it was before. No, just, hit an undo. Check the revision. That's what I want it to be.
All right, I might have to do that later. I'll make a note of that.
Do that later.
I can know to do that. Okay. All right, please take your Sprite and your chips with you as we exit the chamber.
I'll call the hazmat.
Mm-hmm.
Huh? Oh, it's time to go.
Time to go. Hey, did you get your shit?
What shit?
Oh, God damn it.
All right, time for me to hit play.
Yeah, hit play. All right, so here we are, Act 2, Captain's Log, Stardate 3046.2. We are in hot pursuit of the alien vessel which destroyed the Earth outpost on STTOS 3.
That was nice. That was verbatim.
Yeah, nice and to the point. Nothing more we need to say. And I think is this the boring act, Doug?
Yeah. I mean, they're chasing the thing. There's this. There's rumors of signals on subspace channels that, except the signals have never been recorded.
Mm-hmm.
And there's unscientific rumors of life in this section, more like space legends.
Yeah.
And then there's a chase as they go from warp 6 to warp 7 to warp 8. And then Scotty hedges as soon as they hit warp 8.
Yeah, again, we get the sense of Scotty as the master engineer who really is just a liar. And he said, well, we could definitely probably go past warp 8, maybe, but maybe not right now.
Yeah, and there's a lot of getting the 75 people on the phaser crews to the batteries. Like a lot of that's going on in the background here. Getting all the banks staffed.
Yeah, but it's very much sort of it's a chase, but we don't. It's the chase from the perspective. I guess it's pretty realistic, but it's two ships chasing each other at sea, right? So it's not very visual. It's really just sensors. Again, there's a single pointedness, but it's just like, let's get ready to fight. And that's all we have for a while.
Yeah, and then they start to pick up signals from a solar system. It's kind of a distraction. But they're not tractors or weapons, but the intensity increases.
Yes, there's scanning beams. More of a curiosity than anything else. But then, pretty soon after those scanning beams, the alien slows down. And Kirk is very excited. Kirk thinks he's got them. So he orders for them to close in for the kill. They reach sublight speeds, but pretty soon, the Enterprise 2 is stopped dead, just like the enemy vessel. Everything is frozen. Everything is inoperable except for life support. It's very strange.
Then we meet a immediately annoying variety of aliens that call themselves the Metrons.
Yeah, these assholes.
Yeah.
So they're one of these classic 60s Star Trek's flashing light aliens. They're just kind of like a oogie boogie kaleidoscope kind of effect, and they say, "We're the Metrons. You are interfering in our space, and who the fuck are you? And you're violent. You're on a mission of violence, and that is not permissible."
Yeah. It turns out they're one of them intergalactic, like human rights enforcement bodies, which is ironic because the last thing they care about is human rights.
Right. But entity rights, I guess. So they say that they're going to deal with their violent tendencies in a way more suited to their limited mentalities. And they tell Captain Kirk they're going to beam him down with the captain of the Gorn ship, which you've been pursuing, and they're going to let them settle their dispute. They very clearly tell Kirk that they're giving him a recording translating device, but he almost immediately forgets this fact, which will be relevant later. And they just say you'll be totally alone, and that's it. No more discussion. And Kirk disappears. Have you gotten there yet?
No, they're still like talking about shit.
Yeah, the Metrons talk for fucking ever.
Oh no, there's no Metrons.
Oh wait, there's no Metrons?
No, they're driving around and everyone's talking about nothing. Are you at the end of the act?
Yeah, I mean that's the end of the act.
Good. I'll keep watching while we deliberate. Unless Doug has
one interesting thing. We sort of.
They crashed. They all did this thing.
Oh, because that's when they stopped. All right, you're almost there.
Is this the first time we see that there's this universal kind of order of regimentation in the various space militaries that seems consistent across all species? It's like a natural law.
I mean, would you count the Romulan commander? Because
yeah,
he and Kirk are of a kind.
That's right.
But I guess he could argue that Vulcans / Romulans are fairly human-like. Certainly nothing as strange as the Gorn. Even though we haven't seen a Gorn yet, but we know they're called the Gorn, and they have a captain. Like, they don't have like a ruling matriarchy on their ship. It's still there's a single captain leader. Like, it would be cool if there was like a brood of 5 leaders, each assigned equally to command functions.
Yeah.
But no, there's none of that. Like, would the Metrons be fucked if there was a Borg cube? And they're like, well, we'll beam the captain of the Enterprise down with every drone.
Somehow Locutus of Borg would have fit in that cube somehow.
Yeah, somehow. Don't think so 3-dimensionally.
Shall we?
Are you there yet?
No, I'm still not there.
Well, what's going on?
We're finally at the Pink Floyd light show.
Okay, all right.
Anyway, well, let's deliberate anyway.
Okay.
Oh, fuck yeah, I'm parched.
Oh, what? Your fucking soda's in there.
Oh, that's good.
Oh, you're coughing over everything. Oh my god.
I'm gonna need some chips to put out this fire.
Oh, it's getting crumbs everywhere.
There is the important dialogue. Again, Spock is very waffly here. And he's like, oh, what if things aren't as they seem? Which just isn't a helpful question to ask at this point in time. And then they bring up, he's like, what if it's sentient life? And Kirk's like, nope. What's his exact line? It's like, it's policy.
He says, I merely suggest that a regard for sentient life. And Kirk says, there's no time for that. It's a matter of policy. Out here, we're the only policemen around and a crime has been committed. Do I make myself clear? It's just, I don't get it. I really don't get why he's such a dick.
And we'll see if it works out or not.
Yeah, well, we'll see if it works out. Okay, I've been waiting to say this. And maybe here is the best place to say it. I believe that this episode is the first episode of the original series I ever watched.
Oh, Kirk's gone finally.
I believe that this episode is the reason that I fell in love with Star Trek entirely. But I also believe I have never seen the first 2 acts of this episode until I watched it just now for this series of reviews.
It's because you were watching something on TBS and it ended at 35.
It ended at 6:13. So even though I love this episode, I gotta give this a 4 out of 4 for this act. This act is really, it goes on for too long. It could have been half an act. I get it setting things up, but I just did not enjoy this act very much.
There was too much nothing. There was too much nothing going on. And by the end, there was something going on. And then Kirk disappears. And that was probably the most exciting thing. It probably wasn't metal. But then again, they were talking about like protocol and. Oh, are you okay? Is it because of all the...
I'm fine.
Is it because of all the dust I've flung around? By the way, I didn't wipe my shoes when we came in.
Oh, God. You're wearing shoes? You're supposed to wear the booty things.
Well,
man.
I don't know. I was out working in the garden, and it's been raining a lot.
Oh, fuck.
All right.
Now it has to be fumigated and cleaned.
We don't ask you, the listener, for money too much in this show, but this is exactly why we need it.
Yeah.
We can't provide this level of insight in a dirty space.
Yeah, I mean, Who knows what kinds of particles of feces and other debris are clouding our judgments here in the decision chamber. We need to buy all new HEPA filters, Dyson vacuum cleaners, all kinds of like Sani wipes. Like, I only have so many hand sanitizing wipes, and I'm gonna have to use all of these to clean out the. Is that cereal? What is that? What is that?
Pistachios. Do you want one?
Pistachios have shells. Oh fuck!
Ah, I just
God!
spilled them. All right, well, let me just give you my rating so I can kind of scoop these up into my hand.
Yeah, please.
I'm gonna give it a 4 and 4 seems high to me, so I'm gonna go 3.2 for metal and 3.1 for quality. No, 5 for quality because it eventually stuff happened.
Okay, all right, that's fair.
And they got the rubber dinosaur guy at the end.
Oh, you saw him?
Yeah, that's before it goes black.
Oh, okay. So you see the rubber. Oh, wow. Okay.
We can talk about him later. Oh, that's
we'll
good.
Talk about him later.
That's good.
Yeah, I'm gonna go 5 and 6. 5 quality, 6 metal.
Okay.
For a bottle segment, the terminology they use is consistent. You can tell what is going on in the Enterprise, tell what the objective is.
Okay.
It's not just a bunch of word salad. And, just the metalness, that whole policy speech. And this is what I love about the original series. They always know what the right thing is. There's such moral clarity, and it all works because each episodes, they contradict each other all the time. There's a completely different answer to the same problem.
Yeah.
And it inadvertently creates this big tent Star Trek where if you want to see the Gulf of Tonkin in this scenario, if I said that right, Matt.
Yep, you did. Yeah.
Yeah, that's this. We go more recent. Bad things that happened 20 years ago.
Mm-hmm.
And we know the answer, and it's just a matter of executing. And somehow it all works for Kirk. How many Enterprises, because Picard's all deliberative and waffly, and, he sounds like the Metrons. About rights for sentient beings, not putting the interests of Earth first. And how many Enterprises does Picard lose? Like one every movie?
That's very true.
Kirk loses one, and he blew it up. But anyway, that arrogance is metal, and that's what's fun about these episodes, because then we'll get to ones that are very anti-Vietnam.
Mm-hmm.
And we'll see this in our Patreon discussion of Dreadnought, but the current conception of Star Trek as this liberal humanist thing, quite aligned potentially with what we would consider the political left here. It was a bigger tent because there's an ambiguity to the original series where there's all these high achieving people working together collectively, but they're very clearly highly achieving individuals who don't ever have to sublimate their individuality.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. That's absolutely true. Yeah.
And sure, you couldn't actually, the world happens to be messy, and the next generation starts to reflect that. But, the Technicolor look, I just love the original series, and it's this kind of episode and the black and white problem and solution that really makes it work.
Mm-hmm. You're right. You're absolutely right. Yeah. No, that's spot fucking on. Still not going to change my score though, but he's right.
Did you score though?
Yeah, I gave him 4 and 4. I was the first.
No, did he score?
Yeah, 5 and 6. I'm going to go 5 and 7.
Oh, really?
Shit.
Okay, well, I'll race you guys out of here. Bye.
You left all your shit.
Hurry up! Hurry up!
That was pretty cool. I like that little playlet.
I don't know what you're talking about.
We should do more radio plays on podcasts. Oh, it's so rady. Okay.
The sanitation crew is going to be there for the 3rd time this episode.
Yeah, that's gonna be fucking nuts. Okay, we're on the planet. On the table. On the planet. We see our green lizardy friend, the Gorn captain. Tim, if you're watching the remastered version, you'll notice that he's very visually blinking.
Oh,
Or you will soon.
Kirk is wearing like a belt. That's probably at the bottom of his ribs.
Well, that's his utility belt.
Actually,
With the
Gorn is also wearing a belt.
Yeah, that's
over his tunic.
He's the crew of a starship. Yeah. He's a captain.
So who's blinking? Captain. The Gorn?
The Gorn's gonna blink, and that's because at some point, I'm not sure when, Kirk says that he hits him with something and he didn't even blink. So they had to establish he blinks, even though the costume very clearly can't blink. So keep an eye out for that. I
recognize this rocky outcropping from that episode of The Big Bang Theory.
Oh, you mean the Vasquez Rocks? Yeah, here's the Vasquez Rocks. Here we are, everyone's favorite planet, hell.
Oh, come on. This Gorn is slow as fuck.
He's cold-blooded and it's hot outside.
They're in the sun. What are you talking about? Oh, but he grabbed Kirk's leg and failed to flip him.
Yep, so they immediately start fighting. And the Gorn very clearly has the physical edge against
except for
Kirk.
His extreme slowness. Oh, it looks like he's trying to kiss his neck.
Mm-hmm.
Kirk is delivering blows that would have killed a human.
But they can't attack the Gorn. We have another example of Kirk's space racism here. Even before he says he hated Klingons later in Star Trek VI, he says, like most humans, I seem to have an instinctive revulsion to reptiles, which is awkward for Saurians and other reptilian Federation species.
Shit, that rock just bounced right off that Gorn.
Yeah, see?
What?
So,
could you say spracism?
Yeah, I think spracism is the right word.
Well, we don't stand for spracism here. Oh, that Gorn is picking up that rock like it's nothing.
Like Tyr, we are anti-spracist.
And Kirk may think it, but as we'll see by his actions throughout this, those aren't the values he lives by.
Okay, that's true. And that is an important point to point out. Even if he feels these feelings, he rises above his baser prejudices. And that's very important to say.
Did I miss the blink? They're back on the Enterprise. Did I miss the blink?
I don't know. I forget exactly where the blink is. But yeah, so now on the Enterprise, they're watching TV. They're trying to figure out how to free the ship. They have a bunch of dumb ideas. None of them work. And they're just kind of sitting there. I tried nothing and I'm all out of ideas, says Scott. And you know, this we'll be switching back and forth between these two scenes as they proceed. So there's more fighting.
Well, it looks
lots of fighting in this.
Kirk at the moment looks like he's talking into an electric shaver.
Okay, yeah. So this is what I was talking about. The Metron said that it was a recorder translator device, and so maybe Kirk just didn't understand what he meant.
Did he blink? I think he blinked.
I think that's when he blinks. It's very clear. I understood immediately that the Metrons meant this as a means for the two of them to talk to each other, but Kirk just thinks it's his like private diary machine. So Kirk is just telling all of his tactics and thoughts and fears into this machine that very clearly the Gorn captain can listen to and is hearing in Gornese. So I'm not quite sure why Kirk is doing that, but he is.
It could be a gambit.
But I don't get
asserting his bias against this thing.
But I think later on in this very act, Kirk the Gorn will talk over it, and Kirk seems surprised that it's like a walkie-talkie.
It does explain some of the odd things that Kirk says, which might be to throw the Gorn off, like a large deposit of diamonds on the surface, perhaps the hardest substance known in the universe. And then my favorite is he needs a small weapon that he would trade for a hand phaser or a good solid club. The spectrum between those two, it's like a tactical nuclear weapon or a baseball bat.
Yeah, it's like really very odd. Maybe this is just 23rd century thought. Maybe they can't even conceive of primitive weaponry. And so, for them, that's a super powered item. So I mean, it's very dynamic to watch. Tim's actually paying attention, unlike most of the times when he's watching these things. But that being said, it's somewhat hard to describe audibly what's going on. There's the Gorn is setting up traps. Kirk is just blabbing into his diary machine. Spock is trying to contact the Metrons.
I'm just watching for blinks.
They just the Metrons kind of taunt.
The trap the Gorn is setting up right now
is not the best.
No, well, yeah, but it looks like a Roadrunner and Coyote thing.
Well, I mean, he's
I'm gonna drop this anvil on him, and then the anvil's gonna land on the Gorn's head, not Kirk's head. Kirk's obviously the Roadrunner.
Pretty soon the Gorn is gonna paint a hole in a rock, and then Kirk's gonna walk right through it, and then the Gorn's gonna try to walk through it, and then just hit his head on the rock.
Right.
It's pretty hilarious. Spock gets not belligerent, but he tries to convince the Metrons to let them talk. They want a conference, and the Metrons kind of begrudgingly agree to let them watch on TV.
Kirk, there's a full shot of Kirk, and beside his smart belt, his pants flare out about halfway down the shin, so you can see his high boots and the socks that rise above them.
Well, he's in the military, man.
Yeah, but it's awfully what's the word I want? It's unnecessarily stylish, but like in an awkward way. Oh, be careful, you're gonna fall.
And the Metrons just revealed themselves to be another ineffective, highfalutin intergalactic bureaucracy.
Mm-hmm.
Like, Spock's clearly calling them, yet they introduce themselves as the Metrons. Okay.
Yeah.
And then they pass judgment without looking at the facts.
Yep.
And then they just turn on the TV.
Yeah. I mean, and McCoy, like, for example, says, like, in the name of civilization, please stop this brutality. And the Metrons are like, you're violent assholes who want only bloodshed, so we'll let you watch it on TV, which seems to belie what they're asking for. But okay, so then the team is watching Kirk on TV. I wonder if the Gorn are watching on TV, or they just don't have a similar regard for their captain. This is a question we will never get answered. Maybe Strange New Worlds will enlighten it for us. But yeah, we have.
Well, it's not in the scope of right now, but we can check if there was a novel written from the Gorn's perspective.
Oh, I mean, that would be amazing.
Come on. That was Coyote Roadrunnery. That was a Warner Brothers thing. All that's missing was.
Okay, so earlier Kirk has noticed. So there's a bunch of discussion going on while the crew is watching TV. So earlier Kirk noticed all these mineral deposits all over, the diamonds, and there was sulfur, and there was potassium nitrate, I believe, and all these various things. And so Spock notices them too, and he hopes that Kirk begins putting the pieces together.
Now it's like Terminator, you know.
Yeah. It is.
Oh, watch out! Like watch out! Oh, you idiot! Oh, those styrofoam rocks are gonna hurt.
There's also the Gorn finally starts taunting Kirk over the little microphone thing he has, and he says, like, "Come on, I'll like help you out. I'll just kill you, and everyone will be all good."
Oh shit! Oh, you better catch up.
Okay, so where the fuck is the end of this act?
Yeah.
It's really hard.
It's after all the Spock discussion for Act 4.
Okay, yeah, that's probably good.
It's after all the cartoon stuff happens, and then eventually the tables turn, and then someone's about to stab someone else, and then it fades to black.
Okay. But you know what, Doug? I think that conversation is in Act 4, so we'll talk about. Did you see Kirk and Spock, or Spock and McCoy, kind of talking a lot?
I don't care.
Okay, well, they're basically they're inferring from the conversation that maybe Cestus 3 was in Gorn space, and from the Gorn perspective, they were the invaders, and they kind of have this insight as well. The Gorn may have simply been protecting themselves, McCoy says. No, they did butcher everybody, so that's kind of weird. But yeah, maybe they were defending themselves by murdering children. Who knows how the Gorn work?
And they can do this armchair quarterbacking now, but had Kirk allowed it to slow them down, the window of opportunity here for the enforcement action would have passed, leading to more bad things down the road. And as we'll see, everything ends up at the same place. And
so as they're having this debate, so McCoy is ruled by pathos and Spock is ruled by logic. So McCoy says, then maybe we could be in the wrong. And Spock is quick to correct him and says, perhaps that is something best decided by diplomats. You know, so there is no morality in space diplomacy, only negotiation. So keep that in mind as well. Okay, so we've faded to black. We can reach the stunning conclusion soon, but let's rate this act.
All right, sounds good.
Are those ants? I think there's ants in here now.
Well, I brought some of those Werther's original caramels.
They're supposed to have wrappers,
you know, with the cream in it, and I made sure they were nice and wet.
Oh God!
But there's still chips left.
Oh no!
What? No, the ants don't like the chips.
That's not reassuring.
Oh,
you! Oh my! Oh God!
I could use it as a communicator.
No, it's not a communicator. Stop pressing the chip.
I broke my communicator.
Oh God!
These are not good working conditions.
These are not good working.
I'll say my communicator doesn't work. It's delicious though.
This is a great act. I'm gonna give it an 8 and an 8. I like everything about this.
I agree. It was pretty good. There was a lot of your face.
I can't look at you.
There was a lot of action. I did like the blinking.
Oh, you saw it, right?
That clearly cost a lot of money to add.
Yeah, that was like $700,000 for no reason.
And That location is just so famous. It's nice to see why everyone has such a hard on for it. I don't like how slow the Gorn is.
Yeah.
But I do like how cartoony everything was. And he's leisurely trying to make a dagger out of obsidian or whatever. And, he doesn't seem to be in a rush to murder Kirk. Anyway.
Well, I do like how Kirk confuses the, I'm sorry, I'm completely interrupting, but I'm going to keep up with here. The way he confuses the universal translator for his logging machine.
It is funny.
And gives away all of his plans. And spoilers, never learns his lesson or that he did anything wrong.
Yeah, that's pretty fucking metal too.
So, what'd you give it? 8 and 8?
I gave it 8 and 8.
The metal. How metal was it? Violent. Yeah. So I'll give it an 8.1 and a 7.9.
Which is the metal score? 8.1.
I think that's self-evident, isn't it?
All right, there you go. Yep, there you go.
We'll go with 8 and 8.
Cool. All right. Well, please, I hope you at least pick up the new chips you've dropped on the floor.
All right. Can't hear you over the crunching. Let's get out of here.
Let's get out of here.
Matt, Gloria from the cleaning crew, she told me she's quitting.
Oh, fuck. No, Gloria was the best.
Well, not going to be able to get anyone in until at least Wednesday.
Oh, God. That's going to be days. There's going to be so many ants in there and crickets. Crickets all over to the decision chamber. Oh, fuck. Well, maybe after this, I'll see if I'll call Gloria at home and, offer her a raise or something. Okay, well, meanwhile, in an equally frustrating situation, Captain Kirk is being assaulted by the Gorn. The contest keeps going, but now we start to think about all these chemicals, and Kirk, I guess, has figured out what he needs to do. He's noodled it through. Unlike the Gorn, which is a slow-witted, cold-blooded killing machine, Kirk, I guess, is rising to the Metron's challenge, and/or he's failing the test by proving he's the more violent creature. I'm not quite sure what the plot of the Metrons is, but Spock is there watching the TV to help narrate it through us, and what is provided there is all the rudimentary elements of gunpowder. And he explains it to Dr. McCoy, who is an insert for the audience and also an idiot. So he's going to make a diamond cannon using potassium nitrate, sulfur, charcoal. And basically that's what he's going to do.
Matt, and I never noticed the obvious symbolism here.
What's that?
He makes his makeshift gun out of a universal translator provided to him by a meddling international court.
Oh my God. Look at that. Well, yeah. Wow. I mean, that's right there. That's right on the nose. So, wow.
Kirk found a mysterious yellow substance and plunged his fingertips into it and jammed it into his nose and goes, sulfur.
Well, as we've all learned in chemistry,
sulfur.
That's the best way to identify an unknown chemical. I'm sure you learned that in chemistry. Oh, it's very caustic.
Oh, and he's got burning. A limp, probably from standing up too quickly or something.
Well, I think it was also hit by some very
no. It was
heavy,
probably the rocks.
Yeah,
I already forgot.
Okay, so he makes his cannon. he gets the Gorn close. I have no idea why the Gorn doesn't run away when he sees the cannon. I mean, it's pretty obvious what it is.
Yeah, but didn't you see Glory? They all walked into that cannon, cannon fire at the end of the movie, and they're like, "Oh fuck!"
I guess
I haven't gotten to that part yet, so I don't know if he just like thinks he can.
It's coming soon. He's just putting all the shit in his little bamboo thing.
I think there's a freak out on the bridge right now.
Well, they're trying to discuss what's going on because
like a psychedelic style freak out, not a
psychedelic freak out.
They're talking to the Metrons again.
What the fuck?
With Kirk's internal monologue when he finds the yellow stuff, is he talking into the translator or not?
He said something about this may be my final entry, but that was a while ago. Now they're all just watching it on the TV.
See, when he follows through on his plan, he is not revealing that to the Gorn.
Yeah, well, but also the Gorn has also revealed that that's how that device works. So if the Gorn had just been quiet, I'm sure Kirk would be narrating the whole thing. I can't wait to create gunpowder using these following ingredients in this following ratio to kill my opponent.
What the fuck is Kirk doing? Okay, so he found a white powder, so obviously
that's potassium nitrate.
Decide what it is by licking it out of your hand.
Well, that's how
this
you
guy
tell
needs
what
to take a basic chemistry safety class. And I just noticed my camera's like out of focus, and that's going to be distracting.
Well, that's probably all the schmutz on it from all the things you've been eating.
I don't know what you're talking about.
Did you just put your dirty fingers on your camera lens?
Yeah, and I was eating ribs when I got up a second ago. What? No. I wiped them off. It's fine.
Okay.
And I just rubbed the camera. Now I'm in focus again. And,
there you go.
Kirk is taking out his electric shaver, and he looks like he's getting an idea, but they're watching him on the TV. Oh, and now the Gorn's talking. How about? But he hasn't made the cannon yet, so you're ahead. So
okay, we're
just keep going. Just keep going. Just keep going.
Okay.
I want to see the Gorn blink again.
I think he only blink. I think they could only afford 1 or 2 Gorn blinks.
That's fair, but I'm gonna watch for him anyway.
Okay, you keep watching. So Kirk's still putting the cannon together?
No, he's not. He hasn't put anything together yet.
He's just putting like chemicals in his nose. I mean, well,
pasting various things in the ground.
Yeah, he's jamming every powder he can find into every orifice he can find. That's what he's doing.
But you know what, Doug? This is an important point. If we want to go back to, because when the Gorn starts talking, Kirk says, "Who is this? The Metron?" So there's no way. I mean, unless he's playing like 4-dimensional chess here, which is possible. I just don't think a simple reading of this text here leads us to believe that Kirk is that smart.
Yeah, it's a shame we can't sit in on the after action meeting that would have happened in the Enterprise.
Well, another thing, are they recording this? Like, are they able to watch back the episode? Or is Kirk just like writing a report that's very like, oh yeah, they attacked us and I fucking kicked his ass and problem solved.
I mean, they're getting this subspace signal from the Metron, so they remember to hit record on it.
Yeah. Or is that one of the functions of the ship that the Metrons have disabled? Right? Because they didn't have the screen earlier. They're only being allowed to see because of the Metrons. So maybe they couldn't even record if they wanted to.
Makes me furious. A meddling body with ever-changing rules.
Yeah, they're fucking assholes. What's going on there, Tim?
Looks like he's starting to build the cannon because he's got the giant bamboo thing, and he just found something that he can use as rope, and he used a rock to cut it. Now he's like hobbling up the Vasquez rocks. He's hobbling up there, and then he stopped at another white powder. I'm waiting to see what hole he puts that powder in. He puts it in the cannon. All right. Well,
yeah.
It's a good thing it wasn't one of his holes.
Ugh. What purpose is the rope? I mean, I guess it's to brace the cannon, but would that really do much?
Don't you need to seal the back end of a cannon?
Shut up, Tim.
We don't know the atmosphere here.
Yeah, we don't know what it might be. Some kind of super
It's
bamboo.
clearly Class M. Oh, he's filling it with rocks. He's not making a cannon. He's making a pipe bomb.
Well, that probably would have been safer to do rather than hold this device, as you'll see him do.
I'll hold this pipe bomb I made.
Yeah. Filled with diamonds. Yeah. But is it a Class M planet? I mean,
the veterans chose the planet. We don't.
Right. But given their power, is any of this real? Like, are they just in some like floating gas giant and everyone perceives themselves to be in this like rocky landscape?
Oh, shut up and move on.
Like, do the Metrons just have this like arena planet just to fuck with anyone who like drives
blink,
by?
you green motherfucker! Come on.
I don't think he's gonna blink.
No. Not blinking. Damn it.
So again, Spock explains to McCoy, who's an idiot, what's going on. Kirk puts his camera together, and by camera I mean cannon, because that's my favorite.
Look like you have a secret. Get on that sun-parched rock.
If it were a different mission, he'd be building a camera.
Yeah.
This is just one minor thing that they occasionally have
I don't know
do.
that too, but you could use it as like the zoom lens. He's like, yeah.
I mean,
This is the one where Kirk becomes a paparazzo.
We need to hurry up because we need to get to one of my favorite Captain Kirk lines. You seem more like a boy.
I'm not the one slowing things down.
Okay, well, what's going on now?
Say, making the cannon, filling it full of yellow stuff. And everyone's watching it going, yeah, I like this show. And the Gorn is agonizingly slowly approaching, and then he stops and looks around without turning his neck. And Kirk's packing it in. It looks like he's had a lot of practice. And then
pack it in.
And then he tore off part of his pants flare. And
that's the fuse.
Yeah, I figured.
And you were criticizing that flare just moments ago, and that shit's gonna save his life.
And he's using the electric shaver to create a spark.
Yep. We were talking about that like 14 minutes ago.
Yep. And it doesn't look like it's working. Or this has turned into an episode of Bear Grylls.
Yeah, it's like Survivor Wild. Man.
Yeah.
I guess technically it's dual Survivor.
Out. The Gorn is slowly approaching. No way you can get away from him now.
Oh no, what's going to happen?
All right, so
who knows?
Is slowly stumbling and he's not blinking. And Kirk is holding his pipe bomb, which is open at both ends. And he another cartoon moment. He has blasted the Gorn in the face, and the Gorn's face is now black from the explosion.
Yep.
The cannon thing is like splayed open.
Yep.
And now it looks like he's gonna takes the dagger the dagger the Gorn had. I have to back this up for a second. And he's like pressing it into his chest or something. And the Gorn's wait, this is very important. And the Gorn's eyes are starting to close. This is another one.
Yes. Fuck yeah. Woo.
All right, now looks like he's having second thoughts, and then he says no, and he pulls it out, even though there's a little bit of Gorn blood on it, which looks like red oil paint.
Yep, Gorns have red blood, we learned.
You were just protecting yourself, he says, and this is probably a very important moment, so I'm going to stop watching.
It is very, yeah.
Yeah. So we were talking about when is the appropriate time to ask questions. The Metrons have one opinion. Spock and McCoy have no opinion.
This whole thing was the Truman Show. Oh, and the Gorns disappeared.
And Kirk, the right time to ask questions is sometimes when you have your knife at the adversary's neck.
Correct. Correct. The Gorn is no longer a threat to Kirk. Kirk is in a clearly superior position. And that is when you can begin to ask yourself what's right and what's wrong.
Kirk just said your favorite thing.
Yep. Okay, so Kirk refuses to kill the Gorn, who immediately disappears, and then a young boy appears. And
that's not a young boy. That guy's like 30.
Kirk, ever perceptive, sees a creature appear before him and says, "You're a Metron?" And as this is like the 6th or 7th time already, and this is only episode 18, where an alien asks Kirk or someone else, "Does my appearance surprise you, Captain?" Which I think is one of the most overused lines in the original series. By this point, they should suspect every young boy, or as you rightly point out, 30-year-old with blush, is an alien of superior technology and intellect and power.
That's a good point. There does seem to be a type in how omniscient aliens present themselves.
The Metron says he's 1,500 years old.
I think all omniscient aliens should look like John Delancey.
Again, you're right. Again, like the Metron clearly has amazing powers.
He's bad.
And Kirk is surprised that they're surprised by him. They thought he would kill the Gorn, but he didn't. And in a very Roddenberry twist, this is the promise of humanity, where we can go up to the line of savagery and then at the very last moment swerve away. And that's what makes humanity great.
And it's just so classy. Kirk proves the emptiness of the Metron's framework, but chooses to follow it anyway.
Yeah. Not because he has to, but because he chooses to. So the Metron's offered to blow up the Gorn ship, and he says, no, let him go back home. We can talk. Maybe we can reach an agreement. And the Metron says, okay, there's hope for you, Captain. Perhaps in several thousand years, our Peach will reach an agreement. And he's still half savage, but there's hope. We'll contact you when we are ready. I really hoped that there would be some fucking Metrons in Star Trek Discovery. There aren't. That would have been amazing, right? Nope. No Metrons. There's a Guardian of Forever for some fucking reason, but no Metrons. Anyway, that's another discussion for another day. So apparently, the people watching TV had their feed cut after Kirk hit the Gorn with the rocks, because everyone on the planet is oblivious, or on the Enterprise is oblivious what happened at the end of the episode, like at the conversation with the Metrons. Now, it is true, Doug, the Metrons kicked the Enterprise somewhere far away where they weren't supposed to be. They were going, Kirk orders them to plot a course back to STTOS 3, I guess for like grave digging detail. We established there was only one survivor and they got him. Like maybe they want to pick up some cans.
And I love how Sulu, the qualified officer, just freaks out.
Yeah, he's like, what the fuck?
And Kirk's like, don't try and figure it out, Mr. Sulu. Just plot a course back to STTOS 3.
And then so as they're heading back to STTOS 3, Spock mentions that, after you shot the Gorn, the TV went off, and they asked what was going on. And Kirk says, maybe you can find out in 1,000 years or so. Yeah. And he's very proud that humans are our most promising species, which in this case seems to be chiding Spock that he's only half human and Vulcans are assholes or something. Although I'm pretty sure the Metrons like Vulcans better than humans, but I don't know.
We'll see what happens in a novel.
Yep. Told from the Metron's point of view. I think they are in some Q continuum war with Trelane and something else. I'm pretty sure. Like Q squared or something. And that's the episode. Da 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 da.
All right, what's still called a deliberation chamber.
Deliberation chamber.
It doesn't meet our requirements, but
Fuck you. Wait.
Oh,
Who ate all the fucking chips?
I
No
bet it's
chips
that
left.
rat over there. Fuck.
Dude, it's okay. I brought some Skittles.
Oh, Skittles.
Oh, shit.
It's even worse.
Hang on. I just dropped some. Some of them rolled under the console over there.
All right, well,
Do you have like
I brought
a
my
stick or
waterproof
something?
steel toes today.
I need something thin, like a ruler, so I can fish them back out.
yeah. Here's a ruler, I guess. Just, I don't know. Man.
Well, before I try to get them out, how many Skittles are there in a bag?
Like, I don't know, 60?
Okay, well, there's only 10 left in this bag, so there's a lot of them on the floor.
I really
Alright,
hope
That was one of those throwaway metric rulers, right?
Yeah, well, of course. We only use metric here in the decision chamber because we're in the future. And because it's Star Trek, we measure all temperatures in degrees Kelvin.
What? It's not right. So I'm gonna go ahead and say that the battle was really good. I like the cannon. I like the what is it, the like insulting explanation. Remember chemistry. Like, they couldn't drag that out more.
Yeah,
It's like, I get it. And like Kirk's like, what's this powder?
it's like, don't you know how to make gunpowder, doctor, you idiot?
Yeah, so all of those things are very metal, but I'll tell you what's not metal.
Uh-oh.
Mercy.
Oh, I knew you were going to say that.
But I do like how they were played and they were used for entertainment. I like that a lot. So it almost got a perfect 10 for metalness. But I'm going to have to dock it for mercy. But I won't dock it a full point. So I'll give it a 9.2 for metalness. And you know what? It wasn't. This probably was the best one. I enjoyed this one, except for that boring act with a bunch of nothing. But this had a satisfying conclusion. I'm gonna give it a 9.
Nice. Okay.
Yeah, for quality. And do you want these purple Skittles? I don't like those.
Oh yeah. Just leave them on the console there. And I'll pick them up. Maybe if Gloria is not coming in, maybe I'll stay late and do some cleaning.
You know what I like to do is eat the whole bag at once, except the purple ones, obviously. And then chew it into a big, like, it's like chewing on a sock, and then then your jaw starts to ache and you start drooling.
Dribbling.
Yeah, so I'm gonna go ahead and start doing that.
Okay.
It's just I can't stand that spell of sticky, reeking RC cola.
Yeah, it's just shit. What are your scores, Doug? I'm trying not to look over there. I'm just going to try look straight ahead at you and not at the rest of the confines of the decision chamber. I really like your commitment to the bit, by the way.
I'm just hungry.
Yeah, I'm a little distracted by everything going on in this room.
Yeah.
As we go back into the episode chamber.
Yeah, I wish we were watching all of this nightmare on a screen like the crew of the Enterprise.
Yeah.
Are you
probably
not?
get that separation I need if we were watching ourselves on video.
Yeah,
but
that would be weird.
I think Tim raises an interesting point, but
your counterpoint better not be that Hammerfall wrote a song called Angel of Mercy, because that was not on a good album.
Oh.
I wish I could just do a text search and see how many times Man-O-War uses the word mercy and in what context.
I'll do that for you. You go ahead.
Well, there could be a real politic angle here. Because we can see Kirk's playing these Metrons. Oh, yeah, we'll wait 1,000 years. Okay, thanks. Thanks, bud.
I really hope like Section 31 spent the last 1,000 years like figuring out a way to kill the Metrons.
Or, yeah, imprison them and steal their powers.
Maybe that's why they're not in Star Trek Discovery.
Mm-hmm.
All right, here's a Man-O-War line. Blood of my enemies. No voice of mercy.
Hang
Hang on, there's another one. This is from Into Glory Ride. Riding a chariot made of gold, a scepter of iron could mercy bring the creator and king. So it seems they've used the word before.
To God.
Yeah. Yeah.
Let's go with 9 and 9.5 because there could be some real politic angle here. Kirk could be playing 4-dimensional chess. We don't see it. It's also a reflection of universal human values, something that these Metrons don't seem to understand.
Yeah.
A highfalutin global court, as it were. But the metalness, or the quality is outstanding too. Yeah. Iconic episode through and through. Banger of a last act.
Exactly. My quality score is going to be a 9.5. Doug hit that nail on the head for reasons we've discussed.
Up mine to 9.4. My quality.
Okay. Now, I do recognize that mercy isn't necessarily a metal quality, but I do feel like the Gorn captain ended up with a merciful fate.
Hey!
And for that reason, I have to give the metalness of this final act the inverted 666 of a 9.99.
Nice.
That is it. All right. Well,
let's get out of here.
Hold on. We have. I thought we did the review in the chamber. Actually, let's get the fuck out of the chamber. I jotted it down.
No. I'll go back in.
Yeah.
I'll go back in. No, I'm in. Okay, you guys better come in here.
Really quickly, this is the second most metal episode we've seen so far with an 82.17%. I feel like if that second act was a little more jumpy, it would be much metaler at all. I would remind you that the metalist episode so far is the Galileo 7, so it's in good company. That's it. For everyone, please subscribe to the Patreon, get us some Lysol wipes and some disinfectant spray, and I'm going to be here all night.
And there are no more Man-O-War songs with the word mercy in it.
Matt, I join you, but you know how sensitive I am to smell.
I know. All
right, until next time, Metal Nation, keep it sticky. To save space, I put this marshmallow fluff in a bag.
Ah, fuck! No!
Let's get out of this room.
I like how we're slowly turning the decision chamber into like a red letter media gimmick.
Tonight on Podcast Them Down, Captain Kirk launches a police action against unknown aliens, and there's no time for questions.
I'm sorry. Let's take that again.
Fucked up. We'll do it live.
Fuck it. Wait.
Do it live. I'll write it and we'll do it live. Fucking thing sucks.
In 5, 4, 3.
That's tomorrow, and that is it for us today.
I never get tired of that.
That's my favorite part.
All right, go ahead.